Hi, I'm Leah.
And I'm Deveter, and you're listening to Let's Chat. We had a podcast a couple of weeks ago about toxic people in your life, and that will, that power and control, that's really important, knowing where people are in your life and where they show up. And that can really help you to identify who should and who should not be in your life. That's really key.
I think the hardest part is not knowing who to put out your life.
Right.
Because we look at superficial things about that person. You know, well, he's funny or she's funny and we have a good time, but they still have toxic traits that they don't want to change. We all can change. They don't want to hear Leah say, hey, you know, maybe you shouldn't do this. Because people don't like for you to tell them what to do.
Right.
Instead, you should say, well, you know, when you do this, this is how it makes me feel. Yeah. It makes me feel a certain way. Put it back on you. If they can't recognize that and accept that and show a willingness to change, then that person shouldn't be in your life.
Right.
I don't know your friends. You know, so I'm not talking bad about one particular person. I'm talking about people in general.
Yeah.
You know, you do them more harm by keeping them there.
Right.
You know, so, you know, it does tie into abuse.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes people allow things to happen to them, you know. And I don't really want to sound like I'm victim blaming because I'm definitely not doing that. I just want people to be educated enough or educate themselves enough to know this doesn't feel good. The way you talk to me doesn't feel good.
Right.
You know, the way you talk to that person doesn't make me feel good. I'm going to tell you a quick thing. I spoke at another facility years ago, and I gave 10 warning signs of a potential abuser while on a date. So I can tie this into teen dating because teens go out to eat.
They do.
Watch how your partner treats total strangers, the wait staff. This is a total stranger. Waitresses, waiters, they may not get your order right. It could be crowded. But if you start belittling that person, yelling and screaming at the wait staff because they did something wrong, what's going to happen when you do something wrong? They're going to treat you the same way. Now you get to see how they are. Watch how people treat other people. Yeah. And you can determine how they're going to treat you.
Yeah.
Because if they're treating you nice, they're going to treat everybody nice. If they're treating that person a negative way, it could happen to you too. Don't put yourself in there. You talk about toxic people. Those are the people that you don't need in your life.
Right. That's really good.
Yeah, facts. That reminds me of some movie that we were watching like a long time ago, and like on TV. And you're like, Leo, if this ever happens to you, like tell me. And I was like, why are you crying? Like it's okay.
It was a Lifetime movie that we were watching.
Okay. I can't even touch that.
Wait, it was a Lifetime movie, but it was about teen violence, teen domestic violence, and the girl was being abused by this boy. But every time he would beat her up or slap her or whatever, the next day he come with flowers and he come with this and he, you know, trying to appease and make up with her. And the reason why I got emotional is because I personally did not experience it, but I saw my aunts go through that and deal with domestic violence. And, you know, my mom waking up in the middle of the night to go and get my cousins and that kind of thing. Like, domestic violence doesn't only impact the people who are being abused or receiving.
It's the people who witness it and people who are around.
Exactly. And like in the movie, one of the girl's best friends was like, you know, he's not treating you right. He's not doing the right thing to you. And she wasn't hearing her friend. The boy almost killed her. You know, and that stuff, although it is a Lifetime movie, those things are really happening. You know, and I got emotional because I'm like, if somebody is mistreating you, tell me. I want to know, you know, and also I shared this with you too. I want to make sure I'm not raising abusers. I want to make sure that I'm not, oh, he's a boy, you know, that's what boys do. Excuses. No, I'm not doing that.
You shouldn't.
And it's scary.
Well, you touched on two things that I want to speak about. the fact that she was being abused and then they come back the next day with flowers, that's called the honeymoon stage of domestic violence. You can actually look it up and you can see, because it's the, oh, I'm sorry, the flowers, the candy, the trips, it's the, I've never been married, but on your honeymoon, that's like a perfect night, so they try to recreate that thought process that everything is going to be good, but then next thing you know, they do it again. So it's called the honeymoon stage of domestic violence. They abuse you, then they come back with the apologies and the candy and the flowers and the jewelry and the trips. Then they do it again, So, like I said, at some point, off air, in your free time, just Google the honeymoon stage, and you'll see what comes up. And actually, as I was talking about that, I forgot my second point. So we're going to move on until it comes back, because I had a point about the second thing you said. I know what it was. You want her to tell you if that's happening. The reason, I believe, in my unofficial expert opinion, I believe that they don't tell because out of fear of being blamed. It's your fault. You should know better. Look at how you was dressed. Look at the way you was talking to him. It's the blaming.
It's never your fault.
But that's, although we know that from this side of the fence. But when it's happening, people process it like it is. What did I do to make him do that? What did I say to push that button? You should be free to say what you want to say. He should be mature. He or she should be mature enough to accept it.
Right.
We could agree to disagree.
Right.
You have a strong opinion about something, so do I.
Right.
It shouldn't result in me hitting you,
Right.
demeaning you,
Right.
isolating you, or any of those things. So I think that's one of the reasons why they don't. So for you to tell your daughter that, she hears it, but it has to click.
Did it click?
That's fine.
But also remember this.
Sorry.
Okay, you start crying. The jokes are going to fly at the family reunion, but I'm just saying. It clicks now because it's not happening.
Right.
Yeah.
When it happens, she's going to go. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Right. I don't want to say it in that vein. If it ever happens, or whoever it happens to, let me say that.
Yeah.
So many thought processes are happening at that moment.
Yeah.
And they beat themselves up inside. And now they don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So they'll try to mask it.
Yeah.
Makeup, long sleeves in the summer, because, there's, some abusers know where to hit you.
Jesus.
So that it will leave a mark, but no one will see the mark. Because you got to have a shirt on to go outside. So, or beating with things that don't leave marks, like, inner tubes and things like that.
Don't give them no ideas.
I'm not this.
Okay.
I don't give them the ideas, but I know you said it in a joking way, but I'm smart enough to know that me having this conversation doesn't stop it.
Yeah.
But I just want to bring the awareness to those who it either happened to or it hasn't happened to.
Yeah.
To know, look for those red flags, as they call them. Look for those signs. Go with that gut feeling.
Yeah.
Any question you have, if you can't, I'm not gonna say you can't research it, because we have the internet now.
Yes.
And then speak with your parents. And I said that before. I believe your moms has created a safe space for you to talk. I come around. I just got the jokes. We don't have to have a serious conversation, but I want you to know that you can have it with me as well. I'm not sure if you have my number, because you're not. You haven't accepted that I'm still a cousin, a real cousin.
I don't have people in my phone.
Okay, we're not going there. Leah's so special. I love her to death, but wait till we get off air. But anyway, I'm just saying, you could call me. You could speak with your mother, speak with your father. They can call me. They may not have as much knowledge about this as me, because I worked in the field, but, collectively, we're here to help you. We are the village.
Yeah.
And I think we have gotten away from that.
Yeah.
We don't have that village no more.
Yeah.
We live in a world that's very quick.
Yeah.
Internet, TV, whatever. And some of these kids are just not getting the guidance that we got.
Which is another reason why I wanted to do this podcast with Leah, is so that we can put it out there that mothers and daughters are still talking.
Yes.
Mothers and daughters are still having these types of conversations, and that it's okay.
It's important.
And it's important to have these kinds of conversations. And it doesn't always feel good. It's not a comfortable conversation to have, but it's a necessary conversation. And as Leah gets older, you know, more and more of these types of topics are things that we have to talk about. Because I don't want to send my child out into the world unaware, you know? I don't want to send her out oblivious
Right. To what's
you know,
going on.
to
Right.
what's really going on in the real world. We live in a bubble as it is, you know, with everything with COVID and all of this stuff. You kind of are self-contained, but when she, you know, goes out into the world, I want her to be aware. And I hope that, you know, people who are listening and watching this video and listening to this podcast have gotten some kind of information that they can take back and share out with the people in their lives, the people that they know, that teen violence is real, teen abuse is real, you know.
You see it all the time. You see it on social media, all the little apps like Snapchat or whatever, you know. TikTok, you know. You know, and I look at it from that perspective, like, why is he treating her that way?
Right.
Or why is she? Because I don't want to put it out there that
It's
only males
men,
are
right.
abusers. Some women
Yes.
are just as physical.
I heard, well, I haven't heard, but on TikTok, you know, fave out these days, someone saying, like, men might abuse physically, but women tend to abuse, like, mentally. And I was like, that's crazy. That's a real
Yeah, it's true.
world.
It's very true. Somebody had posted they were watching Norbit. I don't know if you remember the movie Norbit. That was a clear example of domestic violence against a man. Like, she treated that man like the bottom of her shoe.
Yeah.
And everybody's laughing and it's funny and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, the reality of it, he was being abused.
Because it was happening on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
You know? And you're right. I mean, that's a perfect example. Not to knock the movie or who came up with the movie to produce stuff like that, but it's just when you look at it out of that lens, you go, oh.
That's abuse. Like, he was being abused, you know, and boys are being abused, which is another reason why I keep Eric so sheltered, because he's so nice. And, you know, he's that guy that a girl could really take advantage of.
But then these conversations need to be had with Eric.
That's true.
Yes,
with Miles.
That's true.
You know, even if it doesn't come from you and it comes from his father or me or whoever, they're necessary conversations.
They are.
Because he may not be able to recognize when someone is manipulating him. Or I'm just want to use him. People may not, like younger teens may not be able to recognize when they're being manipulated because the manipulator masks it as something else.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And you know, when you are that nice guy or that nice girl, unfortunately, people have a tendency to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
You have to know what the signs are. That's the key to this.
Yeah.
You have to know, how is this making me feel? Ask yourself that. You know, I wanted to ask Leah a question, if I can.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, facts.
If one of your friends came to you and said, my boyfriend is abusing me, what should I do? Said those exact words to you. What would you say? And again, this is not to put you on the spot, and I'm not looking for the right or wrong answer. I'm looking for, how comfortable are you having that conversation, or how comfortable are you saying, you know what, I really don't know what to do, but this is what I think we should do.
I would definitely go with the I don't know what to do, but, you know, I think we should do so-and-so, like, talk to an adult.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like that type of thing, you know, jump him.
Okay. we don't want to result to physical, because that's a whole nother
It's the
issue.
last resort.
Okay, I'm not touching that. It's not the last resort. You know, it's not about defending.
Leah.
I mean, defending yourself and just jumping him because you're angry, that's two different things right there. You know, two different times. That's another podcast.
If it comes to that, then.
Okay, Thug Life. Okay, I see where this is going. Rapper, Thug Life. Anyway, but I think that's what I was looking for. Go speak with another adult.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, that person is coming to you. That person has nothing. That person feels like, this is my lowest point. You know what I'm saying? another key component to this is there are some teens who are being abused who will leave the abuser and then go right back. I could be here all day telling you why they go back. You know, but I can't speak to them. I can speak to you as family. That if you're ever in a situation like that and it happens, don't go back.
Don't go back.
There's nothing you could tell me as your bigger cousin, this is the reason I went back. I wouldn't accept it because I don't think no man should be putting his hands or abusing a woman in that manner.
Yeah.
You know, especially as a teen.
Right.
You know, kids are innocent.
Yes.
But people prey on your innocence.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, right?
It's a very heavy topic.
Definitely.
You know, it's something that I'm always talking about. I'm always advocating and making sure that people are aware and conscious of being, you know, what abuse looks like and what is not okay. Gaslighting is not okay. Like, it's not okay to make me believe something that I know is not true. You know, it's not okay for you to verbally abuse me. It's not okay. You know, like I said, like we said, it's not always the physical.
Right.
You know, it's so many things that can sometimes lead up to the physical, you know, and I also think that people need to be aware of their emotions and
You said that before, right?
Yeah, be aware of your emotions. If you're getting upset and you feel like you're gonna punch a wall, don't do that. You need to walk away, like, because if you punch a wall and my head is here and you punch the wall behind me, that means you really wanted to punch me.
True.
You know? So, and you need to be mindful of those things and look, like you said, at the patterns. Look at how they talk to people. Look at how they treat animals. Look at how they treat, like you said, waiters or
Total
waitresses,
strangers, right.
total strangers. You know? How are they treating people?
No.
That 9 times out of 10 is how they're going to treat you.
I'm not saying people can't get angry. We
Right.
get angry.
Yes, of
But what do you
course.
do with that anger?
Right.
That's what's important. Or what you do with that anger in the company of others.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I could be extremely upset, but I know if I'm in front of my aunts,
I ain't
I
going
have
to
to
cuss and
watch.
fuss.
Right,
Yeah.
I have to watch what I'm doing in front of them. You know, same thing when you are dating. You know, it's just equally important. You know, so if I could give any advice to Leah, any teen that's listening, any parent that's listening, educate yourself on what the signs are. What does it look like? What does abuse look like? You know, because again, your girlfriend, your best friend can come around. Summer day, it's 98 degrees outside. Why would she be wearing a jacket?
Right. Something's up.
There's no breeze. She may be covering something, you know. The makeup, too much makeup, you know, or she could be just acting a certain way, you know. So it's so many different things, especially with the isolation part of it, with the intimidation, the blaming,
Right.
the spreading false rumors, you know, to get people to think that you're one way, you know, that's the power and control.
Right.
Stay away from her because of X, Y, and Z. Because he just wants to be around you,
Right.
you know. Being too nice in the beginning.
Being too nice in the beginning.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to make sure y'all
We
heard.
want people to be nice. But, you know, you meet a guy on a Monday. On Tuesday, he shouldn't be buying you jewelry from Tiffany's and giving you flowers and candy, you know.
That should be a, like,
He don't know anything about you.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't learn about a person in one day. So, you know, I'm glad I'm having this conversation with someone who is younger because I've always had this conversation with someone who is older. And if adults can plant that seed in a younger person, imagine what it's going to grow into. You don't have to be perfect. I'm not asking for perfection. I just don't want you to put yourself in a situation where you're feeling that you're being abused or the people that are close to you are being abused. That's my whole thing, especially when it comes to my family.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thanks for
I
having me.
really, appreciate your time. Leah, you have any questions, thoughts, comments?
Comment, shout out to my gang. You know, love you guys because I talked about you. So, you know, yeah. Okay.
She's shouting out her gang. Lord have mercy. She don't have a real gang, y'all. It's just a group of friends. Just want to be clear.
Shout out to my friends.
Shout out to her friends.
Okay, great. This has been interesting.
You are welcome to come and join us on Let's Chat anytime.
I feel the love because I didn't get it in the beginning when you first started. No, you can't come.
We were trying to define who we were, but I knew that this was, a topic that I needed your voice on because of your expertise and, just knowing about the domestic violence field. So we appreciate you. And for those of you who are listening and watching, if you have any questions around domestic violence, you need help, any of those things, first off, I want to give you the cdc.gov. Go to cdc.gov/violence prevention, and that will give you all the information about teen dating violence or any type of domestic violence. If you are in a domestic violence situation and you need to get out, there is help available. I would direct you to Safe Horizon. It's definitely something that Mark can say a little bit more about Safe Horizon.
Well, I did work for that organization for over a decade. It's the largest victim service agency in the nation. They offer a ton of services for those who are being abused, rape, counseling, Project Safe, changing locks on the door, things like that. They're very in tune with the youth as far as homelessness is concerned or just teen violence or whatever. You can actually call the hotline number even if you just want to speak with them. If you're not ready to go into shelter, they could just kind of steer you the right way. So I always talk about them because I used to work for the organization, and it is a great organization. So if you call the hotline, the DV hotline number, like I said, you could just talk to whoever picks up the phone.
And what's the number? Do you know it? Okay, we'll find it.
Off the top of my head, it's 1-800-321-HOPE.
Okay, let me see. I think you're right. I think that's it.
321-HOPE.
Yep. That's it.
1-800-321-HOPE.
Yep. So if you need any... Oh, actually, it's a new one. 1-800-787-3224. 1-800-799-SAFE, which is 1-800-799-7233. All right? Yeah. Thank you so much again, cousin Marq Brown, for joining us today. Was getting ready to say his nickname.
It's okay.
Trying to be professional on the podcast over here. Thank you again for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We really appreciate you. I am Deveter.
I'm Leah.
And this has been another episode of Let's Chat. Thanks so much for listening. Bye-bye.